There are many parts within JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, but I feel like part 1 gets forgotten, and not only does part 1 get forgotten, the characters within part 1 also get forgotten. That's why today I'm here to talk about a character that could never be forgotten just because of his status, but someone who no one actually talks about what happened to him. Jonathan Joestar. Jonathan Joestar deserves so much better from what he got in his short life, because I'm pretty sure by the end of part 1 he's only maybe 23, maybe 24 if I'm really pushing it. So that means for half of his life he had to deal with somebody who literally had evil incarnate in their heart. They were evil incarnate in Dio. He had to deal with Dio from the ages of 12 and 13 all the way through university to when they finally started fighting, because he realized Dio was trying to kill his own father. But before I get all the way there, I have to go back to when they were 12 and 13 and Dio hopped out of the carriage all flying shit. Like, your first appearance to Dio, you're like, damn, he jumped high as shit. Why is he so athletic? Then before he even says a word, he just knees the fuck out of this dog that came running up. Now you're mad at him because why did you do that? This is panel 4. What are you doing? But imagine being in Jonathan's place. You just watched your lifelong best friend catch a mean one to the jaw after this kid who comes from the slums is now in your house living with you, and he basically telling you, stay on my way, I'm finna take over. And he's saying you can't do nothing about it. Because let's not forget, almost immediately after this, Dio goes on a fucking rampage spree to make Jonathan unpopular, make his crush run away from him, and try to steal his crush's first kiss, which he did. Then he threw his dog, which he found out was his best friend, through saving his life, in an incinerator, and let that bitch burn. That's ridiculous. That's why when Jonathan gave Dio the meanest 1-2 connect and started headbutting him and doing all types of shit to him, I was cheering. Because fuck him. No, seriously. Fuck part 1 Dio. Jonathan did literally nothing except exist and be born rich for Dio to hate him. Like, it's real life fuck part 1 Dio. It's always been fuck part 1 Dio. But on to the time skip, because it gets even crazier than that. After he does all of that when they were kids, I'm guessing, or they came to an amicable truce for like 7 or 8 years. So they're like 2021 by the time we get to like the later half of part 1. And he finds out that this man is poisoning his father. Yo, then Dio starts, that's when Dio started experimenting with the stone mask and stuff. So after Jonathan goes to Ogre Street, a lot of y'all might not remember the scene, but like, he got jumped. He took like some blades straight to the bone and kicked the fuck out of Speedwagon, and Speedwagon's like, you know what, big bro, I respect you. You're a spoiled rich kid, but I respect you. Jonathan goes back with the evidence he has now gotten, and Dio puts on this masterclass gaslighting performance, only for him to then take out the stone mask after experimenting on a random civilian and seeing it turn him into a vampire. Take out the stone mask, put it on his own face, and turn into a fucking vampire. And then to add insult to injury, he says, I'm gonna drink your blood, Jonathan. I want Joestar blood. Throws a dagger and hits George in the back, killing him. The man who has taken care of Dio for almost a decade. So here's this young adult Jonathan who's now watched his first crush get her first kiss stolen from her and not talk to him for years on end. He's watched his dog, his childhood best friend dog, get burnt alive, because in the manga, Danny jumps out. He jumps out the incinerator. He gets burnt alive. And he's now experienced the loss of both a mother and a father. Oh, did I mention that Dio were on a killing spree, killing all the cops there, almost killing Jonathan, almost killing Speedwagon, and burning the house down within all of that. So he's lost everything in that short amount of time. Bro, imagine graduating college. You come home to visit your father. Now, a week later, Your father's dead, your stepbrother's a vampire, and the house is burnt down. All the childhood memories you made there, gone. Then he finally gets something good in his life, which was meeting Will Zeppeli and learning how to use Hormone, because man, he would have been shit out of luck trying to travel and track down Dio, who just kept getting stronger from his vampire powers because he kept killing random civilians or just offering them to join his team. But finally they catch up to Dio, Speedwagon, Will, and Jonathan. Will goes up to Dio, they have their clash, and then Dio turns Will Zeppeli's hand frozen to the point where Jonathan had to step in, and it cost him a little bit of skin on his hand. And that led into a fight with two 1500s Victorian Empire guards. I'm not joking. And by the end of that fight, it left his friend, one of his closest friends to this point, since he didn't have any because of Dio, one of his closest friends, Will Zeppeli, the mentor that he just got, to die and give all of his energy to him, leading for him to lead the charge through the old guards and all the way to where Dio is now located. Now, obviously, there's more that has happened in part 1, but I'm really just talking about Jonathan's struggles, because this video is titled Jonathan Joestar Deserves Better. It's not titled Part 1 was really fucking good. But I'm not lying when I say part 1 was really fucking good. Anyway, we all know how the story goes. Jonathan eventually meets up with Dio and defeats him in the castle, where he thinks he's finally done with Dio, and they go on to smash the stone mask. Everyone's happy. Jonathan and Irina are about to get married. He's proposed. You know, everything is great. They got married. Everything was great. Until Jonathan saw Wang Chan. That's when he said, Irina, go to the room. Because again, that's his pregnant wife now. And he follows Wang Chan all the way down to the boiler room, I believe, or the engine room, where Dio's head pops out and he says, Jonathan, I'm taking your body. Because of course he is. I want to remind y'all, this is Jonathan's presumptuous third time facing Dio, like in an official face-off since he became a vampire. And each of the other times, Jonathan thought he had him, and he just never had him. Like, this is the shit I be talking about. Do you know how angry I would be if I was Jonathan Joestar? My wedding night, or the night after I got married, you're coming with me on my honeymoon? Why are you doing this? You can't just pick some other body that you can easily take over. It has to be mine. Like, really think about it. Dio dragged him and the rest of his ancestors and family into an eternal feud just because he didn't want a different body. He wanted his body. But whatever. Dio fatally injures him. I think it was either with the ray eyes or like steaming hot blood. Either way, he took his vocal cords, making it hard for him to use hormone because he could barely breathe. And so with everything Jonathan had left, he fought off Dio, told Irina to take the last remaining baby, because there was a baby that was still alive on the floor crying, and run. And that's what she did. And he held Dio in his arms before passing away. All the while, you can hear Dio like, yo, hey, let me go. I'll give you immortality. We'll rule together forever. Come on. But yeah, that's the tragic story of Jonathan Joestar. He went through so much in such a short amount of time that it's kind of ridiculous his mental health didn't just completely break in half. It's kind of even ridiculous he even felt well enough to go through not only with the marriage but with the honeymoon. He wasn't paranoid about Dio. Like, I would have been paranoid like a motherfucker after he got out of the burning building alive. And then he almost killed me multiple times. Not even while we were adults, when we were kids too. But that's really all I got. If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.